Well, so here we are, job done. Got my Marshal's tabard, got my warrant card. Well, welcome back to the channel, and this is Jof's World Tour Series 3. I'm here on the Isle of Man and it's TT fortnight, and I'm here to do a job which I'll tell you more about in a bit. But before I do that, this is how I got here.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Jof's World Tour Series 3. And since the end of Series 2 I've been overwintering in Scotland, doing a bit of riding for the Blood Bikes charity, but now it's time to get moving on Series 3. And if you've been following the story, you'll know that the original plan was to ride around the world, a bit like Ewan and Charlie did 20 years ago. They went across Europe, right across Ukraine, across Russia. They shipped their bikes across the Bering Straits to Alaska, and then crossed Alaska into America and into New York. And I quite fancied doing that the other way around. I thought it would be fun to ship the bike first of all to Canada, cross Canada into Alaska, cross over to Russia, maybe Vladivostok, ride right through Russia, call in at Moscow, call in at St. Petersburg, and back into Europe that way. But of course, for various reasons, that turned out to be not possible in this day and age. So instead, we've been doing a series of compass point tours. Series 1 then took me as far east as I could go, across Europe into Romania, fantastic place to visit. Incredible mountains, countryside, roads, incredible history. Oh, we've got a flood to deal with here. Shouldn't be a problem for Tigger. Wet feet for me already on this trip. Anyway, across Romania, and then from the Black Sea coast in Romania, we crossed the Danube into Bulgaria, into Turkey, across the Dardanelles Straits. Amazing roads, amazing places to visit. And then the return trip was almost as good, through Greece, Albania, Montenegro, beautiful places, Croatia, Slovenia, and then into Austria and over the Alps on the Grossglockner Pass, back into Northern Europe. That was Series 1. Series 2 then, different compass point, we went south. South as far as I was happy going, which meant going down through Portugal and Spain. It's just a 1 hour ferry crossing from the southern tip of Spain across the Straits of Gibraltar into Africa. Once we got into Africa, had a great time crossing the Atlas Mountains, skirting around the fringes of the Sahara Desert, and then over to Morocco's Atlantic coast, and back up through Essaouira, Casablanca, back up into Spain, over the Pyrenees into France and back home. But here we are now, Series 3. Series 3 is going to take us to a different compass point, and this time we're going north. And of course Scotland is already quite a long way north on the globe, but there are places to the north of Scotland that I've never been to, and that's where we're headed on this trip. I've already got myself booked on a ferry from Denmark to Iceland, and I've got plans to get all the way to Nordkapp in Norway. But that's all in the future. This is for today. What am I doing today is, well, before I can go north, I've got to go south. I've got to find some ferries. But on my way south, a little bit of a detour, I'm heading for the Isle of Man. Tomorrow is the first day of practice on the Isle of Man, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping the weather stays good, because if it starts raining, then the races tend to get cancelled. the weather on the Isle of Man is variable at the best of times. Ferry has docked on time. Rain has held off so far. A little bit of a struggle there because my left hand pannier was kind of stuck to the right hand pannier of the bike next to me. But anyway, we sorted it out and here we are. We're on the Isle of Man. This actually now is part of the TT course. This is Quarter Bridge Roundabout. This is another part of the race route. Just been through Union Mills, and the guys will come down here at 150 miles an hour tomorrow. No, Tuesday's first practice day. Tomorrow the roads are all closed for them setting up the safety barriers. So here we go, Glen Willen campsite. This morning I've got a job to go and do. I've got to head into Douglas and pick up my welcome pack as a volunteer marshal, because that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days. So, let's go. This morning the roads will close at 10 o'clock, so I want to get into Douglas before 10 and pick up my Marshall pack. So this is us back out onto the TT course. You can see all the no parking signs ready for the practice to start. Crash barriers are out. Film crews are out. So I've arrived at Nobles Park. This is where I have to pick up my welcome pack for being a marshal, my high-vis jacket and other bits and pieces. Let's hope I can find where I have to go. Bikes here lining up for scrutineering, getting themselves ready for the first practice. And here's the marshal's tent. Let's go in. Well, so here we are, job done. Got my marshal's tabard, got my my warrant card, and now I just need to go and move Tigger because the roads will close at 10. I'm going to see if I can find somewhere else to park him. So there's just been a call over the tannoy for all the bikes parked at the end of pit lane to get out of the way, which is where I've parked Tigger. So better go and move him. So, Interesting, the minute I put the Marshal's tabard on, everyone thinks I'm a tour guide. Asking me questions about where to park and how to get into the grandstands. Which of course, I have no idea. Can't answer. But I'm still wearing the tabard because I've got to carry it somehow. Anyway, still got an hour before the roads close, so on we go. Straight on down there, that's Bray Hill. And the bikes will be doing a great speed down there when they set off from pit lane. But I'm off now to try and find where I'm going to be stationed tomorrow.
So, my third day on the island, and it's been raining this morning, so there's still some doubts whether there'll be any racing or practice later on this afternoon. They said there'd be an announcement at 12, and my phone has just pinged, so let's have a look at what they say. Weather conditions are set to improve from 1600. Well, that's good. A further update and confirmation of times at 15:45. Okay, so it's looking better, but still need to wait for a full update later on this afternoon. The rain has stopped and the sun's come out, and I've just got a message to say that practice sessions are on this evening, so I need to get myself some food and then get myself over to my Marshal station and get marshalling.
As you can see, I've got my marshalling high-vis jacket on. You'll probably also see the sun's actually shining still. And so this is me off now to try and find my marshalling point. I'm plenty early enough. I'll get there well ahead of time, but I would rather that than be late. The roads are going to close at 6:30. And as a marshal, I'm one of the people that has to actually help close the roads, put barriers across, that sort of thing. So need to get there in plenty of time to do that.
Well, that was my 1st, 1st, marshalling session all done. No incidents to report. So here I am back at the campsite. That's my first session of marshalling at the TT done. Now if I want to become a proper marshal, not just a novice, I've got to do 10 sessions. And that was just my first one. I've got a second one tomorrow and just 2 sessions booked this year. So if I want to become a full marshal, I've got to come back. I've got to do another 8 sessions. And given that most of the sessions get rained off when you're at the Isle of Man, that'll probably take me more than 1 year, maybe another 2 visits to the Isle of Man to get my full 10 sessions and become a full race marshal. Each year they need, I think they said 700 marshals across the TT fortnight, because obviously they've got to cover the entire 37-mile course. So it takes a lot of marshals for every single session. So they're always looking for new volunteers. If it sounds like fun to you, give it a go. Good morning, it's my 4th day on the Isle of Man. And believe it or not, the Isle of Man isn't only about motorbikes. It's a beautiful sunny day today, and I've come down here to Peel to take a look around Peel Castle. Break for some Isle of Man history. It's time for me to head off for another session of marshalling. Not sure if I'm going to be at exactly the same place today. I'll find out when I get there.
Hello. Thank you. Well, here we are. Take 2. My fellow marshals all waiting there. Well, that's my second marshalling session done, and that's me done for the week. Still a lot of people sitting around. They've been watching the practice sessions tonight, and I've just got a 20-minute ride back to the campsite. And here we go, back at the campsite. Get Tigger parked. Back in my little tent.
Well, my time on the island is almost at an end. We're coming towards the end of practice week, and the campsite has gradually filled up over the past few days with a lot of people who are going to be here for race week. I'm not going to be here for race week. Tomorrow morning I'm going to pack up early and head for the ferry. I'm going to get the ferry back to the UK mainland. Then I've got to get across England to the east coast to Harwich, where I'm picking up the ferry to take me across to Holland, and that will be the start of my ride through Holland, Germany, Denmark, across to Norway, up to the Arctic Circle and up to Nordkapp. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of video, click like, click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.